Hey, everybody. I hope this live stream will probably be seen as a video. I hope it finds you doing well. I am not a big fan of part twos, but the meaning of the Trump presidency win definitely deserves a part two. Um, I'm gonna lay this out for you guys. Um, and some of it's going to be hard to swallow. Um, but it is what it is. I find myself in a position to where that I don't necessarily research stuff. God has a way of just bringing it to my attention. Um, Without me purposely investigating it. And this is definitely one of those times. And it's definitely a wake up call to me. Not going to explain why, but it is. There's going to be several things I'm not going to explain. But from what I'm able to psychologically gather, President Trump makes a plan. Then he gets together with his team and how he wants to make that plan work. Then he jumps on social media and tells everybody what his plan is. Well, he keeps saying the first day. Now, will that first day be the day of his inauguration? Or is he just going to let there be a parade and everybody's happy that he's won, a celebration? And then on January 21st, just go ahead and start doing all they plan on doing. And that the day after the inauguration day will be day one. So, which one's day one? I'm not sure. But here's what I can tell you. Just give me 1 second here. I do apologize. I just want to look up something real quick. See here. So, all right, just give me one more moment here. So, I don't know if it'll be January 20th or the 21st that he's talking about. But here's one promise I can promise you. No later than on January 22nd, there are going to be immediately, and I actually mean immediately. And if anybody doesn't know what that word means, you may look it up in the dictionary. Because when I say immediately, I mean immediately on steroids. I mean, this is going to be so fast that nobody's going to know what to do. So here's the train that's coming. He is going to make a lot of changes. And changes he is going to make. There are vast, and I mean a vast amount of people who are going to be investigated underneath President Trump's DOJ. There is going to be serious, and I mean very serious, overhaul of a lot of government agencies. This will also have an impact on the economy. Unemployment, just from those, are going to be significant. People are going to take a second look at this. But I am going to tell you something I know from personal experience. And you can sit around and laugh. You can call me crazy. Do whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you that there are a vast, and I mean a vast amount of people working underneath the umbrella of the Affordable Care Act. In fact, I will tell you that one of the companies that I have worked for, or that I have worked for, their stock is very low. Wow. Their stock's about to go even lower. Because I'm telling you, the Affordable Care Act, employees a vast amount of people. It is going to cause a significant rise in the unemployment rate. And then everybody's going, well, we got to give them jobs. There's only so many jobs out there. And there's fewer jobs out in the market than there are people. And that's the absolute truth. And then companies are going to start suffering. I mean, real suffering. Companies like call centers, they're going to suffer the worst. In fact, they're going to be suffering so bad that they have to go out and use AI. I am thinking that probably if I was a betting person, by January 20 of 2026, all call centers will be mostly using AI. I absolutely believe that. Because they're going to be suffering. They're going to be suffering hard. You can't employ people when you have no money. And when your stock is dwindling down to nothing, what you going to do? It's one thing when a company goes from $98 per share for stock down to maybe $1.25 for each share. If a company goes that way, I'm kind of betting, I don't know this for an absolute fact because I'm not a financial expert, but I'm kind of thinking that they're going to go bankrupt. And then the shareholders or stakeholders will lose everything, all the money. Situations by January 22nd of 2025 are going to change drastically. I would say, if I was a betting man, that all will be fully implemented no later than February 20th of 2025. I'm going to allow room that I could be wrong. I just don't see how I reasonably could be wrong. For the people who are on the Affordable Care Act, I'll just be honest with you. I don't know. I just truly, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I know that President Trump is definitely 100% against the Affordable Care Act. And I can guarantee you another thing. I don't think that Trump might become the president of the United States on Inauguration Day of 2025. I absolutely know it beyond a fact. Arizona finally called the election for the president. In fact, from what I'm seeing, all 50 states has called it for the election. And it stands that President Donald Trump has 312 electoral votes. Vice President Harris has 226 electoral votes. Trump is so far above half, there's nothing that can be done about this. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. And I am going to go ahead and let you guys know this. The will of God and the will of the people are the same at this time. Here's how I'm drawing on that conclusion. The electoral votes was for our founding fathers to give God control of what happened within the United States, to give control of who would be elected and who wouldn't be for the president of the United States. We generally, sorry about that. We here in the United States, minus the presidency, go by a popular vote. Donald Trump won 312 electoral votes and received 74,648,928. Let me re-say that. 74,648,928 votes. That was 50.5% of the population. Vice President Harris received 226 electoral votes and received $70,915,828 votes. She got 97.9% of the population. If you want, you're more than welcome to verify this on Google. All you got to do is go to Google search, put in results for results election 2024, and it'll give you the stat. And you can see that I'm absolutely 110% telling you the absolute truth. Right now, for the House, as we all know, the Senate won. The Senate won. The Republicans won the Senate. Right now, as far as the U.S. House results, are that the Republican Party is in the lead with 213 seats. They need at least 218 to be half of the House. What I'm counting up right now, where that Google says, oh yeah, we're leaning towards the GOP, I could see them getting about 218 if everything goes the way that Google results are. So it's solidified that the Republicans have control of the Senate. President Trump will be president again. And man, there's going to be some changes made. Boy, is there going to be changes made. There will be a lot of happy people, and there are going to be a lot of unhappy people. I'm kind of at a point of where I've got to say where it's God's will be done, not mine. You know, it's what I said about this election, that I was staying out of it, and that it was underneath God's control. Wow. You know, stats are proving me pretty well correct. And I stayed out of it because I'm just sorry, just so much misinformation out there concerning a lot of topics. I didn't know who to trust or what to trust or what the deal was going on. So it's like, I just don't know. And I just put it in God's hands, and well, he worked. He definitely worked. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And they give the governors, and there's 27 Republican governors compared to 23 Democratic governors. Um, hmm. It is what it is. God did it all. But I just wanted to jump on here and let you know that President Trump is correct when he talked about a lot of the changes he were going to make. I'm just unsure of if it will be January 20th or January 21st. But I can make you one promise on one thing. By January 21st, when the sun goes down, a lot of changes are going to be implemented, and are going to be implemented with speed. And President Trump is not kidding. This is not a man who messes around. If the truth be known, Europe was preparing for Trump presidency and they figured he'd get it. I don't know what information they had or didn't have, but we know one thing: the countries in Europe, their leaders are very intelligent. So I stand by everything I said in part one. I stand by everything I've said in part two. Things are going to happen quick. And the best thing that everybody can do is just believe everything that President Trump has said and get prepared for it. It is not if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's not an if, it's a when. And my money is setting on that it'll be fully implemented, fully happening by January, not January, by February 20th. There's just one thing I do not know is if the people will be allowed to stay on the policies that they have bought for 2025 past February. I don't know. I just have no clue. But I can tell you one thing. Boy, are things going to be changing. I've seen on the stock market reports where they were praising the pharmaceutical companies. Boy, we're going to make lots of money. Oh, yeah, this, that, and the other company's really, really good. I stayed the hell away from pharmaceutical companies. I'm not a fool. My mama did not raise me up to be a fool. And they were talking about, the social media stocks, those are going to boom too. Yeah, I'm not expecting that. There may be, let me try and find out. Let me see here. I want to find something out here before I open my big mouth. Okay. All right. So, hold on here. I'm getting mixed information. One information says Twitter stock is delisted from the New York Stock Exchange as Elon Musk's acquisition of the company led to the shares ceasing trading. Got another report here I'm not going to rely on. So it appears to me that Twitter is no longer enlisted on the New York Stock Exchange. That would have been, had it stayed on the stock exchange, that would have been the only one that I would have ever bought. As far as for the other ones, I'm in the stock exchange to make money, not lose it. But with me knowing how of everything coming down the line, I made my bets. I'm willing to stick by it, and there's one AI stock that I've been looking real heavily at, and I'll tell you what, I am thinking about just going ahead and getting it. There's another program I'm looking at getting involved in. I just don't see any other way around this. But I'll tell you what, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A lot of people are going to be losing their jobs. And there are vast amounts of people that's going to be underneath investigation when President Trump gets back into the White House. I mean, I know on the news they call him, well, president-elect. That's just a fun bunch of fancy bull. You might as well just count him as being president now with all that he plans. And if you ain't ready for him to be president, man, are you ever going to regret that? If I had a government job and he was looking at, and it came across my desk, he was looking at investigating me, it'd be like, yep, time to leave. I've got to go. I said in my first report or on my previous, is that, boy, is he going to raise a lot of cane. I'm going to tell you, President Trump's going to raise more hell than we've ever seen. And when he says that he's going to do a mass deportation, I believe him. I absolutely believe him. I believe that this mass deportation will make the deportation that Obama did. I think it'll just pale in comparison. President Trump's not a person who messes around. And to these cities that's been welcoming to the unknown or illegal immigrants, they're not going to like this, I can tell you. And they'll probably have the governor of Colorado up and being really, really mad on television by, Governor Polis might be governor, but President Trump's going to be the president, and God's still on his throne. What can you do or say? I mean, this is just going to be an unbelievable time. So, there's only one thing I can say for the people who's going to be affected negatively. I'm sorry. I feel bad for you. I really, really do. There's nothing more I can say. Except I tell you, if you've been on the wrong side of the issues and you've been against God, it's going to go real, real bad. Jonathan Cahn has, on his video that I mentioned in my other video, mentioned that God's is going to use President Trump as a trumpet. Yep, I hear it coming. And boy, is that going to be a real big blast to the culture, to the economy, to a lot of areas, a lot of areas. This is going to be a shock. I can see where President Trump is going to try and bring down the debt that the United States legitimately has. I mean, we got to look at it from this standpoint. This is the last time that President Trump will be president. So, no matter what he does or does not do, it doesn't affect his next presidency because there's not going to be one. But I think all the right people will be happy. And if Trump does everything that he says he's going to do, and he helps people out and he tries to be a president for everyone, the vice president, I think his name is J.D. Vance. I think he's got a really good shot at being the next president of the United States. But number one, he's got to be supportive of President Trump. Number two, he's got to help Trump execute things in a way that doesn't hurt the economy too terribly bad, and that he tries and gets the unemployment back down and get people working again. And I'm sure all these things can be done, but I'm still looking. There's that big artificial intelligence. I've got money on it. I'm placing more money on it. I just don't see how there can be how it would be a lose situation. So big changes are coming, folks. Just want to let y'all know that. I love you all. God bless.